Welcome to A Man's Journey. My name is Christopher Vallona. I'm your host for tonight's meeting. We have a great topic coming up about the men's holistic approach to healing, incorporating your physical and mental and spiritual aspects and bringing it all together. Um, Most times we forget that men actually have a pulse. They have a heart. We're not all rigid and hardcore all the time. We don't always throw dirt on it. Some of us do cry. And this group is to basically tap into some of those great emotions and to help people give you some tips and tricks, some new tools to the holistic approach. And, the three topics that we're going to talk about tonight is going to be the physical well-being, our mental well-being, and our spiritual well-being, and how it really relates to overall health and recovery due to what I call as the daily trauma of our rare disease as a caregiver. Now, don't get it confused. It is traumatic, but it's not what you think. And I hope that you join us, and I hope that you come back. I hope you just check in. And if you can't be here, hopefully you join the Mighty Networks and you can see a version of this meeting in a recap form in my blog. So I'm Chris Vallona, and I just wanted to say hello. I wanted to welcome myself and say thank you for coming out. All right. So basically, we talk about the holistic approach to healing as opposed to getting pharmaceutical helps, right? Like pills and stuff. Right? Okay. So what we have learned in this space, this rare disease space, or even the caregiving space, is that we have a propensity to really inflict damage on ourselves through stress, physical abuse of our bodies by the caregiving aspects that we do physically. And instead of like going to a doctor and reaching for a pill or a drug to calm ourselves, to maybe have some sort of like relief, I want to talk about some different approaches that we can do before we get to that. Now, I'm going to just say this right now. I'm not a medical professional. I'm simply a practitioner in this space. If you are feeling like you need to call 911 or that you feel you need to see your doctor, please do. Okay. Right. We're talking about different approaches while you're feeling stress. I had a situation happen here today with my girlfriend. Her blood pressure was through the roof and she was at the doctor and they wouldn't let her leave, which I thought was brilliant because she was going for another injury. And it stemmed from a phone call from someone that had said some things about what was going on, and the blood pressure just, and I don't think we're very cognizant of that a lot of the time. And I just it was a real reminder for me to kind of like say, whoa, what did you do with that? And so she physically had to calm herself down, otherwise she couldn't leave the doctor's office, right? Wouldn't that be crazy if we had that type of an alert system here? Like, we're not allowed to like change our day. We're not allowed to do anything different until our blood pressure. Now, you could be lucky like me. You have a LVN off camera here at my disposal who can take my vitals, but not everybody has those luxuries. Do you have help at the house, James?
No, not yet. No.
Have you investigated getting some help?
No, since both of our kids are still up and walking and taking care of themselves for the most part, they're self-sufficient in most regards still. So we haven't gone down that road yet.
That's great. Well, I hope you never have to.
Yeah.
All right. So
we'll be preparing for it.
All right. So let's see. We want to treat this approach to acknowledge that the true wellness, right? Your true wellness, your inner body wellness cannot be achieved by addressing one aspect alone, right? So it requires a comprehensive understanding and a care for the entire individual. So basically, we're going to jump into a little bit of deeper dive about how we can incorporate the physical, mental, and the spiritual well-being. And this is so cool because today I was interviewing somebody for one of my other my sober coaching businesses, and they were telling me that their entire sobriety resonates through an interconnected healing of a holistic and spiritual approach. And I said, what does that really mean to you? Do you think that that is the backbone of your sobriety today? And she was like, yes. If I don't put my higher power and my spiritual advisors first, I make very bad decisions. So I said, how do you do that? And she goes, I am a breathwork specialist and I'm a yoga instructor. So I have a lot of training, which a lot of people don't. But if to break it down easily, I sit here and I pause when agitated and I breathe. And she says that brings me to center spiritually. And then I can actually think about what I'm going to do instead of just have that knee-jerk reaction when we get upset and stuff like that, or we have like this fear. I don't know about you, James, but I have so much fear at times. I react with my fear first and I make stupid decisions. You ever felt like that?
Um, don't know that it's been fear, but I've definitely reacted off the cuff and not had good reactions to stuff. So yeah.
I bet. I bet. Well, so let's talk about that physical well-being really quick.
Hmm.
As men, we have to, really understand the physical health. Being fit is something that a lot of men are, that's like the goal, right? And I think that we forget about the other stuff that's just as important, like our mental well-being and our spiritual well-being. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right. So for me, I have to really try to maintain some sort of physicality, some sort of wellness, some sort of fitness, because Sebastian's about 140 pounds dead weight,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So I've got to either press him, I've got to squat him, I have to pick him up, I have to move him around, especially when we have a seizure, he's completely dead weight.
Hmm.
And I don't know if you ever tried to move 140 pounds of dead weight, but it's hard. It's really
Yeah.
hard. And I often hurt myself doing it sometimes, you know?
Mhm.
Isn't that crazy? Do your children have seizures?
They're controlled at the moment. Gabriel hasn't had one for quite some time, and Nora's about 5 months since her last one. So,
Oh, that's great. Are they on what kind of medication are they on?
Gabriel's on lamotrigine, Nora's on lamotrigine and zanisamide. So
I've never heard of lamotrigine.
it's
Interesting.
the generic of Lamictal, I think.
Oh, I hate Lamictal.
It worked out for our
It
family.
made,
So,
yeah, I mean, it made Sebastian absolutely crazy. Like
oh
his reaction to it was good.
yeah,
Yeah.
actually, Nora just she broke through those two, so we've added a third one, um, clozapam or clozapam or something.
Oh,
I don't remember
Kabali.
the
Yeah,
so
we're on that. We're on that. It's on feed. That's the generic one.
okay,
It works well. It works well with him.
yeah,
Very little side effects.
very cool. Yeah,
Hmm,
it's all like finding the right mix.
that's right. The old cock. Now, hmm, can you tell me, James, what do you do to keep in physical shape? To, let's say,
Myself.
reduce some of your stuff? Yeah.
Um, so I've been dealing with back pain issues for a while, but I've been doing some like at home physical therapy. Like so, I've got exercises, resistance bands, stuff like that, and I also do some yoga. Um, Trying to fit all of it in all the time is always the struggle.
Well, that's good. So you actually take time to do that. That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, very cool, very cool. I built out a gym in my garage here. Kind of
Okay.
looks like like a mini LA Fitness, if
Yeah,
you know what LA Fitness is. So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and, primarily it was built for Sebastian and his needs physically.
Yeah.
And so we just have we have the cage, we have leg machines, we have bench press machines, we have all kinds of dumbbells and weights. And then I just bought a hack squat with a leg press. So I'm trying to keep his body moving and less
Hmm.
deteriorating. We're spending a lot more time in the wheelchair than I like.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that keeps him moving and building his muscles. So you got some muscles today, buddy? Let me see. Let me see your muscles. Nice. So he's doing a little bicep pros like this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The usual.
Nice.
I
Good
get the
job,
same for
buddy.
my kids.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, so you and I seem to have that down. So the next thing is like our mental well-being, right?
Yeah.
I totally missed this in the very beginning. I've been doing caregiving for 20 years now, and I really miss this. Like that my mental health would play such a vital role in my approach to my own healing or my own stress levels, because I always put him first or my other son first beyond what I need. Because I always felt, well, I'm happy and healthy. I don't have any diseases. I don't have any issues. So why wouldn't I put them first? And over the years, I've been really doing myself a disservice by not really looking at my overall mental health, which has been brought up because what you don't know is I just got back from my neurologist appointment. Yeah.
Mm.
Who is very concerned because I have migraine headaches, I get
Mm.
dizzy, I forget what I'm doing from room to room, and I have certain heart pains now. And they go through this list of check off list about what's going on. And I've been not wanting, I don't know if you're like me, but most men not wanting to go to the neurologist because I don't really want to know what's going on.
Mm.
Because if it's not prevalent, I'm not dealing with it. If it's not incapacitating me, I just keep pushing. Because if not me, who else is going to take care of this kid here? So, but yeah, that's right.
Mm.
You're going to take care of yourself. Good job, buddy. So I was reminded again today by another, a doctor who simply said, "Why aren't you taking care of yourself?" And it was the old adage, well, you're no good to your child if you're not healthy yourself.
Yeah.
And it's just like it was like another like wake up call. It's like, why did they catch me? Why did I, because we're supposed to, as men, we're groomed in this world to be the strong one, the tough one. Hey, we're gonna get pushed through it no matter what. There's no emotion, there's no crying. We're just move, keep going forward, right?
Yep.
And I'm
Exactly.
learning that's been a detriment to my mental health and my physical health, because if we think it's not a big deal and we keep going, then we keep hurting ourselves. So I I learned that my mental health well-being was just as important as my physical. I
Right.
never really put the two together, although I heard about it before. And so now I'm starting to see it play out in my 50s, that I really need to understand that, because my mental well-being not only helps my physical, but it also helps my emotional stability, my cognitive functions, right? And my
Hmm.
physiological resilience, right? So it's just, how do I incorporate that into the addressing these issues of the stress that constantly comes up, anxiety over here, depression, all of these things, the daily trauma, like we talked about. And it's like this pattern. I don't know if it's like in your household, James, but in this household, it's a constant. It's like I wake up in fear and I have stress. And it's like, what am I doing today? How am I going to help my kid today? What am I doing today for myself? You know what
Hmm.
I mean? And never really understood that those are really called negative patterns, right?
Right. Yeah.
It total like blew my mind when I started learning about this. And instead of doing that, I get to say today is like, oh, I get to wake up today. I get to help my son today. I get to help myself today. I get to be here today. I get to be present today. I get to be helpful today. instead of being angry and resentful at a disease that I can't control or change, which has been severely like, I got to tell you, I have suffered a bout or two of depression, and
I'm sure.
uh,
Yeah.
it's debilitating. It really is. And I'm glad that I fought through it, and I'm glad that I got mental health people to basically wrap around this situation and explain to me that as much as that this is my normal, it doesn't have to be this negative normal. Do you relate to that at all?
Yeah. No, I understand that. It's one of those. It's all kind of how you approach the situation, and just like you said, you can be mad and angry and negative, or you have to have the different approach of not going there and just like you said, it's the opportunity to still do good for your kids. So it's all how you approach a lot of things.
It's hard though.
Yeah.
It's
Oh
hard.
yeah.
It's hard. It's hard to be positive sometimes, let alone all the time.
Yeah.
You know,
And I think that's the nice thing about my wife. My wife uh, doesn't work, so we kind of made a decision a while back that that wasn't going to work out for our family. So she's like a 90% caregiver. She's taking care of everything around the house and the kids. So it's a lot for her.
oh
And then
really?
I jump in after work and throw down and help out with whatever needs to be done. So
Wow, that's great. Does that work pretty good with you guys?
it's really well. Yeah. I mean, she definitely needs the break by the time I'm done with work and ready to jump in. But it's worked out pretty well so far. So yeah.
Gotcha, gotcha. Okay, very cool, very cool. Well, then I guess that leaves the next topic, which would be what did I write here? Oh yeah, we were talking about that earlier. Spiritual well-being, right? We rarely really touch base on that spiritual component of our mental health that deals with the physical well-being, right? So I mean, I don't know if you're a spiritual person, James, or if you're a God-fearing Christian, or if you're an atheist. None of that matters, because if you believe in the significance of that healing process that's surrounded by spiritual beings or a spiritual energy. As one of my other practitioners, she has crystals and a little.
Hmm.
This is what you got. I love my friends.
Did you
You
get a
see this
starter
little
set?
tray? Yeah, my little gems of like good healing, she says. And then I get to put these in my little pocket,
Uh-huh.
and I wear my wristbands. And this is a recharging crystal,
Okay.
right?
Yep.
So, and it's supposed to make you feel better, right?
Hmm.
But I feel silly sometimes, wearing them all like, jewelry. I'm not a jewelry guy, you know, but
Sure.
uh, because of that, I'm willing, which is huge, right? Are you willing to do whatever it takes to feel better?
Right.
You listen, you try. So, I enjoy the fact that I can have that connection to something different, rather than just being this big old tough gruff guy, like throw some dirt on it, move on, right?
Right.
So I've tried meditation,
Hmm.
prayer, hot yoga, reflection, journaling, as a more of different tools, as for lack of a better word, which that's a pretty good word. These tools have helped me become a little bit less, I guess, in a box. Like I can go outside the box now, and I can try these different methods, and I can, have that ability to be willing and open. And it's kind of working for me, because I feel kind of weird using these approaches and stuff. But I got to tell you that one of the best things I've ever done was write. I take all this stinking thinking, and I put it
Hmm.
into this pen and onto this pad. It's so weird how it just really just evaporates. All of that anger and fear and frustration, pen to paper, It's so fulfilling. So if you haven't started journaling,
Hmm.
I would suggest that you do. Whether
Okay.
it's I hate my life, I hate my situation, I don't like the way I look, I don't like this person, I don't feel good. Whatever your feelings are, instead of talking to someone, you write it down on a piece of paper and you have that self-reflection. And it took me a while to start writing positive notes, as I call them, little positive notes, and
Yeah.
doing daily habits of positive stuff. Like, what does that really mean? Well, you do these affirmations and these prayers, and I said, I'm not that guy, right? So they said, "What?
Right.
Hey, do you like water, Chris?" I said, "Yeah." But try to drink about 2 liters of water when you're angry. And I said, "Well, what's that going to do?" And he says, "Well, first of all, you're going to get so bloated, and you're going to forget why you're angry while you're peeing." So it's just like, well, aren't these little tricks, right? The little things, you know? Do you like tea? Yeah, I like coffee. Replace your tea 1 cup a day instead of a cup of coffee, and then get it up to 3 cups a day. I'm like, all right. Do you like music? Yeah, listen to like 7 songs that make you feel good. I'm like, okay. Do you like sleep? And I said, what's that? It's like, right?
Oh yeah.
So these are all these things. Read a few pages of a book. Have an hour of exercise, whether it's walking or doing something, or find a friend and laugh for 5 minutes. And I'm like, I'd never do these things
Right. Right. Right.
because I'm so consumed being a caregiver,
Yeah.
And before I knew it, I was smiling. I was feeling better. I was able to assist my son more without anger and resentment. I
Hmm.
wasn't as tired all the time. And it's a work in progress. Let me tell you something, Mr.
Oh yeah.
Patterson.
Sure.
This is just going to take a while for you to find out your daily niche, but um, so I'm so glad that I listened to my friends that brought me that spiritual aspect of healing. Right? I didn't know how to heal myself. I wasn't the physician in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous saying, "Physician, heal thyself." Not even our top doctors will listen to their own practice, which is so ironic because they heal people, right?
Hmm.
And they won't even take their own advice. It's crazy. It's just insane. There's a whole nother podcast.
Sure.
I wanted to share that stuff with you tonight, and to help you understand that these 3 things are so important for us in the holistic approach of healing. Hold on a second. Yeah, Sebi. What's up, bud? You have something to say? Go ahead, brother. The floor is yours. You want to say something? What do you want to say? You don't have to stand up and say it. You can stay there where you're safe. Speak up so everybody can hear you. What would you like to say? You're stomping your feet. What's going on? What is that? You have to go to the bathroom? All right. Well, Miss Veronica will take you to the bathroom. Yes. Okay. Um, do you have any comments, James? Can you tell me how you're thinking and feeling about all this stuff?
Oh no, I think it's kind of what you were saying was, we're knocking it out with like getting the physical done, but kind of I know I'm neglecting the other two. Like I'm not taking care of my mental health and my spirituality is and I'm not focusing on them. So, getting those habits built up is kind of the next step I need to kind of broach.
Is that something you're going to try to do? You mean?
Yeah, yeah. I haven't started with a counselor yet, but I've been thinking about it. I need to get into that, and just some of this journaling and other things are probably, I've heard those are all things that could have helped. Um,
Yeah.
it's like all those things you hear, like eating vegetables are good for you, but you got to like make an effort to do it, otherwise it doesn't count. Yeah, I figured you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I couldn't tell if you were like broccoli or what was going on there, but
This is cabbage salad with apples and some carrot slices.
Nice.
Well, I feel better already. Look, the jewelry's working. Yeah, it sounds to me like you have some opportunities to do something different, which is great. And um, I'm here to help you. I'm gonna post like a recap of the meeting inside the Mighty Networks. I don't know if you're a member of that, which is where the platform that we reside on. We're not on Facebook or anything else. We kind of do some
Right.
Instagram, but the Mighty Networks is where this home is, and under a man's journey is where I will begin to post the recap of the meeting, and I'll put in those suggestions, so people can like go back and say, "Oh, I missed that topic," what was said, and if they
Yeah.
want to subscribe to the channel, they will get to be able to hear what we're talking about privately. Because if you're a member
Mhm.
and you are a closed member, then no one else can see it or not. If you don't want to, that's okay too. But yeah, man, that's my life. And that's what I think about holistic values versus traditional medicine, I guess. So,
Yeah. Yeah. No, that all works. That's it's it's kind of it's what I think I've been hearing and what I've been working towards, but haven't been doing a good job of actually like executing on it. So like the reminder that I need to keep working towards that and actually knock some of those things off the checklist, start getting those
oh,
habits built up. But yeah, I'm
well,
fine with not being on social media. I dropped off social media a while ago. It's just too much of a headache to deal with all the other nonsense that's on there. To like, I miss being like in some of the CLN family support groups that are on Facebook, but there's just too much other stuff to contend with. So
yeah, I hear you. I hear you. There's so much crazy things that going on social media, and it really takes away from your time unless your job is social media.
yeah, pretty much.
What is it that you do again, James?
Um, so I'm a electrical engineer. I've been doing national defense stuff for a long time, but more recently I've switched over into supporting healthcare spaces, and I've been working on how the data standards related to electronic healthcare records and stuff. Um, I'm actually working on some effort to standardize how genetic test results get reported out to hospitals and whatnot. So um,
Oh,
I've
okay.
had the fortunate situation that I kind of stumbled into the places that are doing exactly like what's relevant to like our earlier journey and whatnot. So
Yeah,
I'm pretty feeling pretty good about the stuff I'm doing, and it's like going to make difference for somebody I know or somebody that comes after me.
I like that. I like
Yeah.
that. Setting the table for success. Very good. Very good. That's awesome. Well, do you have any questions for me?
Um, so if you were talking about like counselors and the like, what kind of strategies do you suggest? Because you sounded like you were kind of steering away from pharmaceuticals and whatnot. So, so on the counselor side, what all is your preference, or what's the most successful or useful kind of approaches?
Well, I see a licensed marriage and family counselor like once a month. I check in with that person,
Hmm.
and she's very good. She's very honest. She tells me I don't have the training in that space. I don't have the training in addiction because I'm an addict. I'm 28 years sober, and
Congrats.
thank you. She said I see a therapist that deals in addiction, an addiction therapist. And I said, okay, would there be a therapist that is in touch with rare disease? And she suggested a trauma counselor for me to
Hmm.
talk to about dealing with the stress that we just talked about, which is traumatic. We are how does somebody coin the phrase? I forget it all the time. Where um, it's like it's impending doom all the time. I forget the term that this person
Right.
taught me.
Yeah.
Um, I forget. I'll probably post it on LinkedIn. You'll probably see it there. But I'm giving these suggestions, and I'm starting to seek it out, you know,
Hmm.
and I don't know what your network looks like out there on the East Coast, but I would, start asking other professionals. Are you familiar with the BDSRA?
Me personally, yeah, yeah. Sorry, I thought you were talking about like asking the counselors that.
No, I mean, who is it? Who's running the show there?
Amy?
Amy.
Yeah.
Amy's running that show. I bet if you contacted Amy and you said, "Hey, I was talking with Chris Valona on this group. Do you have any referrals for a a a a possible therapist that deals with rare disease?" I wonder what she would say. She's got a lot of tools in her bag. She's a great gal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I just ran into her 2 weeks ago. We got invited up to the thing at University of Rochester, so I
Oh,
got to
cool.
sit around and chat with her for a while in the airport before we headed home.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I saw her in Dallas last summer.
Yeah,
So, well, it's gonna be. I don't know if I'm gonna go this year. I
yeah. St.
forget when
Louis
it's
is
in.
easy for us.
Oh yeah, very close. Nice. Yeah, I don't know about us. I mean,
Yeah.
we want to go, but there was some issues that we had last time with uh certain families not accepting outside sources of help, meaning your significant other,
Oh,
because they
yeah,
because they weren't the mother or the biological father, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
it's just like
I recall
it was hard.
the kerfuffle last summer, which is
Yeah, it's like
ridiculous, but
it is, bro. It's just like so not necessary.
if you're a caregiver, you're a caregiver. It doesn't matter if you're like a blood relative, like
I
you're
don't know
filling the
why
same
you
role.
would not be praising these people that stepped up
Right, right.
and wanting to be there.
And like
It was
really
just
the
so
only
weird.
difference is if you put a ring on it or not. Like, come on,
It's true. It's true. So I'm
right?
gonna have to do some. I'm gonna have to do some reflection if I'm gonna
Yeah,
go or not, because I don't want to subject myself or my girlfriend to that shit anymore. Because it's really
yeah,
about Sebastian. You know,
right. Yeah.
it's
Like
really
you're
about
going there
Seb.
for support. Like support us or like don't have the conference. Like,
I mean, if I wanted that fucking bullshit, I could have stayed home and just keyboard warrior. You know,
yeah,
come on, bro. You're
yeah,
supposed to fucking love me because I'm in your
yeah.
category, not criticize me.
Right, right,
So
right.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'll have to do some thinking on it. And I'll have to ask Sabby and Jesse, see if they still want
Yeah,
to go. But
yeah.
are you gonna try to go?
Yeah, yeah. We're gonna bring the most of the family. My oldest might stay home and they'll be working and whatnot, but the rest of us are heading out. So we'll need to figure out, you know, I can't remember if the year before last they all hung out in the daycare setting. But
Yeah,
sometime,
Sebastian loved that. Sebastian loved that. He made so many cool things. And those people there, James, you remember how nice they were?
oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
They're so great.
yep.
Man, it was so great that Jessica chose to be in that room rather than the adult room. Yeah,
Making the best of it, but yeah, that's
absolutely. Well, James, thank you for joining us tonight. You've been a real treat. Look out for that post in a few days if you're on that app,
yep,
the Mighty Networks under a man's journey, and maybe do those tips and tricks. And remember, dude, these new solutions, it's not a race. It's like anything else. You just have to slowly integrate it or introduce it to your lifestyle and see what works. They may all work or none of them may work, but I highly doubt that. I'm sure one or two of those things may help you a little bit, just like it's done me, because you and I are under the same stress. Even though
Yeah.
we're different, we were dealing with some really hardcore trauma. So I just wanted to
Yep.
say thank you for joining me tonight.
All right. Thanks for hosting. I appreciate all your time.
All right, man. I will see you later. Okay.
Have a good night. Bye.
See you later. Bye bye.